Hey guys, it's me, Gary, from Pop Culture Minefield, and I'm here to say that this week on the Scoop Zone, we're going to be talking about Kathleen Kennedy, Star Wars, Indiana Jones. There's going to be some shitting on Kathleen Kennedy, maybe a whole lot of shitting on Kathleen Kennedy. Don't we all love that? And we're going to talk about some new news about Henry Cavill, a little bit Joaquin Phoenix, and we will be discussing the current state of Star Wars with Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I hope you're prepared for a new episode of the Scoop Zone. Start credits. Welcome to another episode of The Scoop Zone with our amazing panel of human beings. Keith Moncrief, Arwen Avalon, 24/7 Fusion Media, and Sil Abdul, who has an actual show with Mikey Sutton, because Mikey doesn't love us enough.
That's the truth, yeah. That's
Welcome to the show, guys. Looking forward to talking about some of this stuff, and some of this stuff I'm dreading talking about. I admit it. I freely admit it. But again, as Sil loves to point out, this show's not about you, Gary. And for the fourth time today, I will say these exact words. Fuck you, Sil.
Just one time. Just one time.
I love you, buddy.
We feel the love.
I really do, man. So let's get into it. Let's all right. Let me build up and get ready for this, because I am just so not excited about this.
I'm excited. I don't know.
I am not. I am not.
Let's go.
Anytime I talk about Kathleen Kennedy, it aggravates my ulcer. Once again, we are talking about Geekosity News by Mikey Sutton and Mikey Sutton's geekositymag.com. So make sure to visit there, and if you don't, subscribe to him on Twitter. So Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy says they will recast some Star Wars characters. And this is right on the heels of her saying that she won't recast. They won't recast. Anyway, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy clears up her comments about recasting George Lucas' Star Wars in future projects written by Edwin Francisco. Just more than a week ago, Kathleen Kennedy said, and here's the link to it, that recasting beloved characters was a mistake with regard to casting younger actors for Solo, a Star Wars story back in 2018. Kathleen Kennedy said, quote, "There should be moments along the way when you learn things. Now it does seem so abundantly clear that we can't do that." Mm-hmm. I'm serious. You fucking... And the funniest part to me is that she actually thinks that it was the casting that tanked that fucking movie. Not Rian Johnson and not her fucking meddling, but the fucking recasting. The Han Solo spin-off movie that starred, Alden, and whatever that guy's name is, had a lot riding on him. He played a younger version of Harrison Ford's Han Solo. Not only that, Donald Glover portrayed Billy D. Williams. So I thought he did a good job. I actually thought whatever his name is, Alden did a good job as Han Solo. My problem was they turned him into a puppy dog. He's, lovelorn, heartbroken, and it's just like, oh, come on, man, it's not Han Solo. So not
Donald
only
Glover.
that, Donald Glover portrayed Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian. Of course, both Ford and Williams are too old to play the younger versions of Han Solo.
Bullshit.
Lucasfilm, look, they're doing it with Indiana Jones. Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy says they will recast some Star Wars characters. Solo had a troubled production. Lucasfilm removed original directors Chris Miller and Phil Lord, and like Sil said before the show, I'd like to see that cut. We never will.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
I think some of the stuff that they created is in there,
Yeah.
and
Ron
one
Howard
of them
didn't
is that
totally
fucking robot.
Well, also, I'd like to see one of the original cast members that they had to let go. You know, I mean,
Oh yeah,
there was a cast member that could not come back for the minor
The
reshoots, and they had to completely recast that person for the new version under Ron Howard.
do you remember the actor? Because I don't recall the actor's name.
That was what's her name's not Mahershala Ali, the other actor.
Don't recall. We'll move on. In
It'll
a recent interview, so Solo had troubled production. Lucasfilm removed original directors Miller and Phil Lord from the production midway through. It's not midway through. They finished the film. They were over 80% done.
Yeah, I thought that's about to say that.
That's a lie. This isn't true. The movie failed at the box office. That's true. It had a budget of $275 million that we know of, because they completely reshot the film.
Well, I'm sure it was up to 300 million. Yeah, I'm sure it reached.
Well, actually, I think that is the doubling of its original budget, along with how much it cost to reshoot. That's the reason why it was so expensive.
And
If
that's
you
why
cut
when
that
you
budget
see
in
this-
half,
It was the original, but here you go. They earned $393 million in the box office, and they tanked.
It's a
that
loss
should tell
either
you.
way.
Yeah, it was
No matter how you
complete
cut
loss.
it. Yeah.
Solo wasn't a bad film. It's not a bad film. I enjoyed parts of it.
Yeah.
Parts.
It even had positive. I don't give a shit what critics say. That fucking doesn't matter. Kathleen Kennedy blamed the box office. It's what the audience says that matters. Kathleen Kennedy blamed the box office failure. I love how film studios rely completely on a group of people who don't give them any fucking money, instead of relying on the
That's
people
so
that
weird,
pay
right?
them. Kathleen Kennedy blamed the box office failure on recasting. She's an idiot. She really is fucking stupid. And said not to recast the familiar characters.
That's really stupid.
In a recent interview with Games Arena, she said to clarify that quote, "I never say never."
Well, you said never.
It's certainly
You
not
said-
something. It's exactly what you said.
Never been.
You said never.
She is such. And this is what led to the conversation with Mikey, Sutton, and Andre this morning, and myself, and Keith jumped in later. That look, man, there's something hinky going on over there. She is saying something, and within a very short period of time, contradicting it. Then making another statement, and shortly later, contradicting it.
Yeah, when we get to that next one, Gary, I
Well,
do
I know
see the
you have a
point now.
feeling it isn't. So we'll look.
No,
at
actually, no. I'm actually feeling I kind of read it again, but go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so it seems that recasting is still an option. I'm done with this article.
I think it's a
I'm
lot
so
of double
fucking done.
talking with her. Yeah, I'm actually
Because I felt that they
agreeing
should have
with
just
you, yeah.
recast Luke, and I think
was
that
weird.
Sebastian Stan looks like he's the illegitimate child of Mark Hamill. He really does, and he don't make that face, Keith. It might get stuck. I'm serious. I don't want to.
no, I mean, I'm just like he's got something. He's got something
What?
there.
Sebastian Stan was a fan favorite. Fans were writing in, telling people, posting, Sebastian Stan should be Luke Skywalker, young Skywalker, and we can continue his story and not have to worry about bad digital acting.
He could have easily
know
stood
what
in for what 10, 12 minutes of screen time on that episode.
Yeah.
And they
Easily.
could make him look enough like Mark Hamill that I'm fucking telling you it was a
I mean, they could have defaked him with how he looks now with both of them, and just would have been, Mark Hamill all over again. And then it would just have to depend on how he sounds when he speaks. Does he talk like Luke? Does he have his mannerisms and all that
was
other
the
shit?
problem with
That's
these
true.
scenes with him in, was it Boba Fett or was that
Yeah,
Right.
Mandalorian?
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. And in the scenes, what they did is they made an amalgamation to create his voice. Actual Mark Hamill, another actor, and then samples of what Mark used to sound like. And what we got was a stilted, flat dialogue that really wasn't emphatic when it needed to be emphatic, because the digital version of his voice doesn't emote. It's very flat acting,
very monotone,
monotone, and so it doesn't work. And I wish they had found a better way of doing that. If they couldn't de-age Mark Hamill, they should have just hired somebody that's really good at doing a Luke Skywalker voice. But I've heard Mark Hamill do young Luke Skywalker on other stuff. I think that they could easily have de-aged his voice, but and he's a good impersonator, so I know he's got a range in his voice. So I don't know. Anyway, Kathleen Kennedy has also said that Lucasfilm will be developing stories other than the Skywalker saga. As she said in the same interview, we need to create a whole new saga. We said, nobody's going to watch it, but good luck with that, Kathleen Kennedy.
But then that new quote, So this is interesting now. Yeah, 3,000 years of Star Wars. So, all right, let's get into this, guys. So she's walking that one back now, Gary. Now,
we'll get into that next. That's the next one.
That's interesting.
But what are we thinking about the recast, not recast thing? It reminds me of the Senate statement where I was for the war before, or I was against the war before I was for the war, or whatever that fucking line was. Always cracked me up. It's like,
okay, I have a thought on this.
Okay.
It's okay. Imagine. And go with me for a minute. On your body, okay, on your arm, you have this big, gaping, oozy, bloody wound. Okay, and it just keeps oozing, and it keeps bleeding, and it keeps going, and it's right on your arm, but yet you're looking at the tiny little paper cut on your leg, and you focus on cleaning it on your leg, and you never focus on your arm. Or then you get something on your foot, or then you get something on your ear, or then you get It's like, oh my God, you've got a big gaping wound on your arm. Are you ever going to address that? That's what this kind of shit reminds me of. It's the casting, it's the recasting, it's the this, it's that, it's the no. You need to go back to your roots. You need to look at what Star Wars is, what it's about. Hire some good writers. Hire some people that respect the IP. My God, we're a broken record.
Well, that's the thing, because they have that thing called the Star Wars Writers Group, and they're the ones who are fudging everything up. Absolutely, they played a great part in what happened with Boba Fett. Also, I don't know what happened to him, but what's his name that did Sin City? Hispanic director. And he's that's
Robert Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
I think Spy Kids broke him in his ability to really be
Spy Kids.
thoughtful. Yeah, he made his Spy Kids films and series.
Yeah, I know he did 1, 2, and 3. Matter of fact, he's redoing them now.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl just
that was awesome.
Broke him. And shut up.
No, I'm just saying. I bought that for my kids. That shit was.
Well, yeah, 3D. I bought it for my kids too. My
with the fucking glasses. Yeah,
but I couldn't stand them myself. I didn't think it was good storytelling. But I do have to point out that he comes into Boba Fett and apparently was given a lot of freedom. And this is part of how we got the Vespas, was through Robert Rodriguez.
Well, I mean, he's also working on the female Zorro with his sister, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's coming. So you get ready.
He used to be a great director, and now he's just fucking ridiculous. And it's funny because I always say that it's funny when you meet a director who acts like a feminist and promotes feminist things, but in private life, I know personal stories, firsthand stories of people that worked with him. It said that guy was an absolute womanizer, and he was always trying to hit on the new young girls working in his company at the studio. And Keith knows one of those young ladies. I don't want to say her name. She's a Japanese anime voice actor friend of ours. And she's
very talented.
Yeah, she's worked for him for years, and she told.
I can tell by the hand
gesture. You, yes, yes. I had a crush.
She's a good person. But
there's a video of her
good personality.
There's a video of her sexually harassed. Remember when she sexually harassed me with her boobs on my head? Remember that?
Oh man.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget that.
I'm gonna Me Too her now.
Or did your head harass her?
She's such a sweethart. And she did do that though. She totally put her boobs on my head and did that.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like,
I'm just the other side of that story. Yeah,
I'm in heaven.
But she posted a picture with me, and she
talked about Rodriguez and told stories.
What are receipts? What are receipts, man? We need pictures.
Well, there were a few pictures.
Oh yeah, that's it.
So look, I'm just saying that when every male feminist you meet in Hollywood is a closet harasser of women. And it's each time that it's come out, someone that did that, it doesn't surprise anybody because they're using this. It's their beard to hide what they really are. I'm a feminist just like you. I support feminism, and then harasses women. And just an absolute James Cameron, another womanizer. Absolutely an infidelitous piece of shit. He really is. And great director, no mind. Great at special effects, but terrible at marriage and with women. So once again, this is Geekosity. No, this is not Geekosity. This is Scoop Zone. The opinions on this show are not necessarily those of Geekosity by my Geekosity, I would say, probably does not agree with a motherfucking thing that I say.
Yeah, Solo lost money.
Solo lost money.
So we'll bring this back up. Let's do Solo. So here it is. In an interview with Games Radar Plus at Star Wars Celebration, Kennedy was asked about the movement of film projects at Lucasfilm. Quote, of course, they've been in movement all along. Whatever. As we leave the saga, we have all this great, exciting work happening on television side that informs so much about where we're going. We want to be very intentional about that, end quote. She said, going on to state that there was, quote, no hesitancy, end quote, in exploring the space in the timeline beyond the Skywalker saga, meaning continuing.
Additional, yeah. I was misreading that,
Yeah. Quote, oh, yes, we need to create a whole new saga that takes a lot. There's a lot of conversations around that. And this is after saying the Skywalker saga was done.
So she's talking about 10, 11, and 12. Like, that's what she's talking about.
This is just this is ridiculous. She's contradicting herself all the time. It's fucking insane. This harkens back to her saying that they had no additional material for Star Wars with all those fucking comics and books.
That was her worst quote probably ever. Yeah.
It is. I think it's really become apparent that we are reaching the end with her, and that we are well on the road to, as Doomcock says, this is her spin tour with the help of Disney to clean up whatever legacy she has before she retires next year. I think that what we're going to see, and again, as I've said on other shows, if this gets her out the door, I would be willing to look right in the camera and say, Kathleen Kennedy has been a very interesting personality to have, and someone who has helped to forward the ideas and the kinds of creative attitudes that we have forged here at Disney over the last 5 to 10 years. I wish her luck on what she does next. I'd be willing to do that.
Kathleen Kennedy, go fuck yourself.
Smoozle her ass right out the door. Right?
If it gets her out that door quicker, even Bob Chapek would be willing to just give her whatever awards and accolades and get her butt right out that door.
Collectively, Keith, you and I, send a gift from Pop Culture Minefield, a bag of jelly dicks.
A bag of what?
With the words in a card, we pray you don't choke on this bag of dicks.
Oh, my God.
Well, for me, the key to correcting a lot of this will be, I think Bob Chapek, once she's out the door, is pretty much going to turn his attention to
all hope for him, dude. No,
well, true. That means if he survives it. But
you had me convinced for 4 days that he might be the guy. And
but
I was like, no, that's not the guy.
if it turns out they end up getting rid of him before Kathleen goes,
that'd be weird.
I have no hope that Lucasfilm will truly survive even without Kathleen Kennedy. You need somebody up
Disney
there
will
that's
destroy it. Alonzo herself will destroy Star Wars. The one thing that was brought up that I don't know how everybody feels about this was the potential that they could bring Bob Iger back. And Bob Iger
that's not happening.
Is the one who put us down this road.
He spent all that money.
Well, he fell for Kathleen Kennedy's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, did he learn? Would he be able to make up for past mistakes of trusting her? I mean, that's the reason why the Star Wars land doesn't look like Mos Eisley, is because of Kennedy. Convincing Iger.
Wow.
The Lucasfilm Story Group needs to go. One day after Kathleen leaves,
they have to be fired. They're terrible.
But
they need to find writers who were baptized in Star Wars.
Well, you heard about who they're going to try to blame, who Kathleen's going to allow to get blamed for all the bad stuff. They've decided to put it all on one person, is what Doomcock said. They have chosen one person to be the fall person, in this case, the fall guy, for all of the bad stuff. You want to know who they chose? Pablo Hidalgo.
No.
Which is why he's not there anymore.
Even though his name's on the credits of every episode of Obi-Wan. They gave him a single credit, even though it's kind of really small. If you look, it's Pablo Hidalgo, Star Wars. They gave him, it's Star Wars archivist or Star Wars consultant, Pablo Hidalgo. And so, she can't even do right by the people that actually supported her. I mean,
and to be fair, if you cut off the branches of a tree, of a sick tree, but the roots are diseased, that's not going to do shit. They need to totally gut and redo everyone from top to bottom.
Kennedy is the first person who stabbed George Lucas in the back. They treated him like Caesar. And she was the one, she's Brutus. She's the one who delivered the first blow. And then everybody from Disney stabbed him. And that's how I feel about that. Look, guys, your thoughts. 24, come on, man. I know you've got some feelings on this.
To be honest, she's always contradicted herself.
Yep.
You're saying something ever since she's been on board, the focus has been on her. Every time she said something, there was always something else that someone can easily point out and be like, well, she's wrong about this because this, that, and the other. To me, I've always felt like she's been out of the loop, but always had the power to make the changes that never coincided with whatever project she was, fucking trying to, give advice on and shit like that.
Yeah.
Dude, ever since Disney bought Star Wars, she fucked over everybody to get her to basically get her way to the top. And even at the top, fucked over even more people. You talk about the directors.
She's fired more directors
actresses,
than anybody.
Script writers. You talking about like episode 9, all the shit they went through with that. I mean, it's just so many people. Just think about this. When George was running it, how many people got replaced and fired and how many stories? I mean, of course, there was, some things have happened, but not to the capacity of what you saw, how things went under Disney. You've never seen it like that. And then all of a sudden, they're not, Disney is not even paying people for the, old books and novels and stuff that, basically when they bought on Star Wars, they took on a lot of responsibility in other departments, and they're not even holding up their end, to pay a lot of folks off in other ways that has everything to do with Star Wars. So, I mean, they're fucking up all the way around, man. I don't know.
Well, I got to tell you, let's first of all, I want to hear what Sil has to say about this too, and then I'm going to point out something that Keith and I talk about. Go ahead, buddy.
Well, just with Kathleen Kennedy, I think like we theorized before, when she's double talking, it's because she's, you know, saying probably what she feels in the beginning, but then someone higher up is saying, "No, you need to fix that." You know, this was Star Wars Celebration weekend. They want this, you know, they want the OG fans and the prequel fans and this new generation. They want everybody to feel like they're going to be happy going forward, though they're not. Just watching Obi-Wan, you realize that. So it's just Kathleen Kennedy. I think I agree with Keith is saying and Doomcock as far as she's on her last leg. It's, you know, there's no way you really can spin this anymore. You know, all you can do is go off what you're putting out there in the reception of real Star Wars fans. So, yeah, I mean, I expect more double talk from her until she's out the door at this point. So,
yeah, I will not be surprised by that. And before we move on to the next story, I wanted to share this, guys, because Keith and I have talked about this ad nauseum. This is what's missing in Star Wars right here. I believe that if they brought Gary Kurtz back and Marcia Lucas is a woman that Kathleen Kennedy has intentionally gone out of her way to ignore and never talk about. And Marcia Lucas is why we ended up with such a good trilogy with the original trilogy. She is the senior editor over those films.
I would love to see Gary Kurtz come back. Kurtz, if he were still alive, he was an incredible producer and an incredible creative as far as being someone that would help guide Lucas to where he should be. If he were still alive, I would expect him to have been already consulted. Of course, Kathleen would have ignored pretty much everything that came out of his mouth. But
and we'll never get him back. But we need someone like him, because Kurtz was Lucas's no man. He was the guy who said no to Lucas.
Well, he was also Jiminy Cricket. He was his conscience. He was not everything, but he was the really good part of what Lucas was able to craft and helped Lucas get to the center of what he was actually attempting to do in a way that made sense for the story that he was trying to tell.
Yep. And Marcia Lucas did the same thing, because she would help form the story, because the first cut was Lucas's own cut. He showed to Spielberg, Coppola, Scorsese, and Brian De Palma. And they were like, Spielberg was like, what the fuck was that? And then De Palma took a step forward and actually started advising him. And it was after that advice, changes were made to the cut and included bringing in Marcia Lucas, George's wife at the time. And she rearranged stuff, took stuff out. She's the one who took it out. And I know that the other editor, I forget his name, worked with her. But the fact is, she was the force behind the edit. And in reality, deserved that Oscar, because she's an amazing film editor. And if you don't believe me, go check her fucking IMDb page and look what she's worked on. They need to bring her back. She's still alive. Gary Kurtz, on the other hand, where do you find another Gary Kurtz, man? A guy that's willing to stand up to the showrunners and say, no, you're going in the wrong direction. You're not understanding the story.
The guy, he is would be a unicorn today, because he's actually someone who's actually read. And a lot of people in Hollywood right now don't read.
He understood creativity. That's the other thing, because we have producers. Like, if you watch Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, I swear to God, first half is your regular credits. The second half of the credits, half of it is nothing but executive producers. Nothing but executive producers.
I think you and I are probably listed on there somewhere. They keep adding names. I mean,
so, but
don't
look,
get started.
I don't think. I'm saving it. I'm not firing that gun yet with you, but I will pull that trigger when you do get into a rant. So we're not done shitting on her. We're not. I swear to you guys, we're not done shitting on her. Here it comes. More Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy opens doors to the Star Wars expanded universe after saying that they had no expanded universe to fucking use. I shit you not.
That should have got her fired alone.
This is contradiction number 3. But this was a recent one. She said this a while back that Star Wars had no
years ago
creative material to use to make new films and shows from. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So Kathleen Kennedy opens doors to Star Wars expanded universe with her third major contradiction, written by Edwin Francisco. Boy, a lot of Edwin today.
It's a twister. It's a twister. Auntie M.
Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy has opened the doors to Star Wars expanded universe. Let the past die? Not quite. In fact, the upcoming Disney Plus series Star Wars: The Acolyte will embrace it. We'll see. I have no faith in anything they're doing.
I'm not watching
Kathleen
that.
Kennedy shifts direction. On the other hand, in 2019, Kathleen Kennedy said in an interview with Rolling Stone, quote, "Every one of these movies is particularly hard nut to crack. There's no source material." There's the quote right there. "We don't have comic books. We don't have 800-page novels." I'm like,
oh my
did
God.
nobody tell her before she went up? Oh my God. We don't have anything other than passionate storytellers. They're not storytellers. They're activists who get together and talk about what the next iteration might be. Like maybe a sentient rock.
They literally have novels and everything.
Yeah. It makes us feel like lawyers for Amber Heard every time Kathleen speaks.
Yeah, Geo.
At the time, many Star Wars fans felt the disconnect. Really, more like that psychoanalyst that she had as a witness.
Oh man,
that guy. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with him? I loved when it cut the camera to Johnny Depp and his lawyer. Like, they're like, what? What is he doing?
That was funny. Johnny Depp like leaned in, like, what?
At the time, many Star Wars fans felt the disconnect of Kathleen Kennedy. As such, it didn't make any sense at all to forget all the decades worth of comics, books, games that built into the Star Wars expanded universe. Consequently, this worried Star Wars followers. No shit, really? Thanks, Adam. Actually, that might be an understatement. Thank you for noticing now.
He said, take that, Gary.
Good one, Edwin. You got me.
Yes.
Indeed, I think he knows I'm reading his stuff.
All right.
He's like, I'm gonna get Gary caught up in something I said, and then he'll make fun of it, and then I'll turn around and go, "Ha, motherfucker!"
Take that.
Indeed, fans became livid towards Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah, livid is a close word. After all, it seemed like the one spearheading Star Wars didn't know about Star Wars. Yeah, we've been saying that all along. Doesn't know shit about Star Wars. In the Star Wars expanded universe, many writers made sure they didn't conflict with one another. Furthermore, they didn't contradict creator George Lucas's cinematic canon, which made them in their own canon. And this picture, I swear to God, that just looks like slash fiction art. That's creepy looking. Why'd they use that one? I hate that artwork. It's like, I'm going to whip you, boy. He's like, I'm looking forward to it. Somehow.
That's what you got from that?
Thanks, 24. Somehow, it was one consistent universe. A lot of Star Wars fans loved and respected the timeline. Yeah, of course, Lucasfilm officially labeled the expanded universe as Star Wars Legends. That was not Lucas. That was Lucasfilm under Kennedy. It was made to make sure that the Star Wars timeline was wiped clean. This is to make it easier to do movies or TV shows without conflicting with any published media. But the move betrayed millions of followers who spent years supporting it. Suddenly, none of it was in continuity. In other words, they didn't count. And what I tell people all the time, Lucasfilm can say what's canon and what's not canon all they want. We as fans are the ones who decide what's canon or what isn't canon.
Part of the reason why they did that was also because they were trying to protect Disney, in that if you de-emphasize all that stuff and create something new, There are a lot of comic book people, authors, and others that you don't have to pay.
And what's funny is in doing stuff like this, once again, we want to remember that $4.5 billion that Disney paid for, Star Wars and Lucasfilm. And in doing so, what they recognized was the value that the fans had given it. That $4.5 billion of value came from what the fans did. Again, I'm reiterating the word fans. Fans are the ones who gave their money to give the franchises their value. Without those fans, those books would have never sold, the toys would have never sold, and it wouldn't have been worth $4.5 billion. So when they paid that $4.5 billion, they technically also bought the fandom with it. And they absolutely threw the baby out with the bathwater. And they've been fucking up ever since. It's just been one fuck up after another. The Mandalorian is the only thing they've come close to, and Rogue One. I will say Rogue One was good. Rogue One and Mandalorian both are the only two things they created that were really worth anything to the fans.
Yeah.
They are just finding new ways to just... Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, based off the fan reaction, Gary, just going with that theme, fans have gravitated to those two projects.
Yeah, because with everything else, what do we hear constantly? Fan backlash. Sure, we also hear toxic fans. Fuck
it's divisive.
There's no such thing as toxic
fans. At the best, it's divisive. Like Obi-Wan should have been a celebration this week. Star Wars celebration. You got Hayden Christensen back. Prequel fans, at least, right?
And I am happy.
It's divisive.
I am happy for him. But at the same time,
it's a shame.
There are problems with the story. I know Mikey likes he liked episode 2, is what I heard he liked. And I had issues with episode 2. So many fucking issues. Like breaking canon again. They broke canon again. Leah did not know.
He has Ewan McGregor. This show is very lucky they have him, because if he's if he's not in this show, this is nothing.
Well, we also
but that's the thing.
There was also,
I was just going to say,
news. Hold on, Keith. There was also the news that 3PO released from the Reddit's what do you call it? Leak. The Reddit.
Yeah,
leak.
I avoided the spoilers. Yeah.
And so we've got that concern. And it really looks like that's where they're headed. Go ahead, Keith. Now, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, the entire thing is called, you decided to call this Obi-Wan Kenobi. The story that they are telling right now seems to just be a Star Wars adventure story that they've unfortunately decided to call Obi-Wan Kenobi. But in reality, if you're wanting to do an Obi-Wan Kenobi series, how it should have started was, show us something that we've never seen before about Kenobi that's not in any of the films. And they should have started when Obi-Wan was a youngling. Because I said this online. I had remarked about this, that they should have started there and showing his training. Showing his training, but also showing how he may have seen or met up with both Mace Windu and Qui-Gon when they were younger too. But not that young. They would have been Padawans too.
And even though I know some people don't like it, I actually do appreciate the broken form of Obi-Wan, because I deal with broken veterans all the time. Guys who did their best in combat and came back not whole, and left a little bit of themselves on the battlefield.
Yeah.
And there's nothing worse than guys who come back from combat in a battle lost. And that's really what Obi-Wan is facing. So I actually have no issue with the broken.
He played that well, though. Yeah, he played that well.
And at first I was like really frustrated by the fact, because he could have saved that guy that didn't get his paycheck. In that scene, I don't want to say what happens there. He could have saved that guy by simply doing the thing. You want to pay his full check. Give him a little bonus. He could have done it, but then it's like we learn that he's disconnected himself from the Force. And again, this echoes what Keith complained about, and I agree with what they did with Luke. And they shouldn't have done that with Luke. But here, it makes sense. Luke, it made no sense. Right. Here, it makes sense.
It's about survival at this point.
He doesn't want to be found. his greatest fear. Well, we know one of his greatest fears. I don't know what all of his fears are. Is causing harm to Luke and the Owen Lars family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he's got to hide. But someone, I can't remember who it was Steven? Somebody said it to me that how did he find his lightsabers out in the middle of that fucking desert?
Oh my God, I thought the same thing. I'm like, what the hell? I've lived in a desert like that.
I'm sorry. Using the Force, how the fuck did he find that? There are no markers.
It's all up here.
That irritated me. I was like, what?
Well, and again, I think a lot of this comes out of how they had all those massive rewrites. I think parts of this that are good are from the original written scripts that they had before they had to go back and rewrite.
I remember that, yeah.
And
they had to redo everything.
And so I think episode 2, parts of episode 2 and parts of episode 1 that make sense are all those, and that the stuff that doesn't make sense is the new stuff they had to add in later with Kathleen turns
the Loki
her
writer.
attention to
The writer of Loki is redid all this.
Yeah. Now I'm going to point out something too here that I was kind of hoping that Reva would be a more interesting character. With all the fucking shit coming out of Lucasfilm about racist if you don't like her character. It's like Mace Windu, Lando Calrissian.
She was trying to play Brie Larson. I'm like,
she was very one note.
But here's the problem. We go into the show. I just want to say this real quick. She lost me as a character. I think she's an evil character. Mm-hmm. She's not somebody that's redeemable past fucking dying. Once she did some of the things she does as a character in that film, in the first episode, there's only one way she can redeem herself is to fucking die.
Just like Maisie.
Star Wars trope right there.
She is
just like
who?
Just like Maisie.
Oh,
from Jurassic World.
Yeah.
That little girl. She did some evil stuff.
I know they're not going to kill her. She needs.
Yeah, they're not going to kill her.
Well, let her grow up first.
She has to.
Then kill her. Yeah.
The way the first movie with her should have ended was Chris Pratt turns and fucking shoots her for doing what she did, and then feels bad about it because he has empathy. She has no
fall to the dinosaurs.
Yeah, she has no empathy for what she did.
She shows no empathy. She is, by technical definition, a sociopath for what she did.
Mm-hmm.
And that means she lacked empathy. For those who don't know, watching the show.
Jurassic World coming in 2 weeks, y'all. Can't wait for it to come out.
But Arwen, what are your thoughts on this shit? Come on, man. Let's go through the group.
Oh
God, she's got the vapors.
I had it all, but it just went out of my brain. About Kathleen Kennedy and all this mess.
Yeah.
This whole Star Wars thing.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series.
One of the things, and I don't know how they could get this back, but one of the things that kind of kills modern Star Wars for me, besides all the shit shenanigans and the writing, the ignoring of the canon and all that,
Not
all that
shenanigans.
Is there is particularly with those first 3 original films. Yeah. One of the things I think that draws us to it is you feel like you are entering a new world with a unique feel. It doesn't feel like Star Trek. It doesn't feel like, whatever, Babylon 5, Battlestar Galactica, whatever sci-fi franchise you love. It has that unique vision, that unique feel, from the music to the way the landscape is edited. It's something that's you can't really quantify it. You just know that's Star Wars. New Star Wars doesn't even touch on that. I felt like I was watching and I'm sorry for anyone who loved Kenobi. I think that's wonderful. Me, I thought it was shit, and I'll tell you why. One, I didn't care for the writing. I loved Ewan McGregor. I thought he was amazing, but he's a very good actor. He's
dreamy, isn't he?
I don't look at Kenobi as dreamy, but whatever. Okay. I don't. I'm sorry, but the point is that as I'm watching it, I felt like I was watching like the Sci-Fi Channel, kind of a B grade Saturday afternoon We're just going to throw some elements together and mix it in the cauldron and see what we come up with. And here you go. Here's Star Wars. That is not Star Wars. And it pisses me off because the more they try and say, well, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and you're this, and you're that, and you're this, and you're a phobe if you don't like it. I'm like, no, y'all had one job. Y'all had one simple job, and that was to grab that feel and give us a damn good story.
And and I said something similar to that a week ago. A week ago, I said there was a time when nerds got excited when you heard Star Wars or you heard Star Trek, and we could hardly wait to spend some money. And it's just not that anymore. 24, man. Your thoughts on Reva's parkour skills?
Boy,
she's a master at parkour too. Still's hiding his face.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
I want no.
No, you know, it's to be honest, the actress, she's already fucking up already. You know, saying shit.
Turn fans off. That's right.
You know, and then you have that, and then the fact that, you know, you got the actor for the Grand Inquisitor. This motherfucker didn't even want to watch Rebels. You know, I tell you what, man, why they keep casting people and just tell the motherfucker, hey, just come with your own rendition of what the fuck you think this is, when the character already has a personality and a whole set of traits that come along with it, and they just hire some brand new motherfucker that don't know shit about shit to go ahead and just wing it the best, you know, add your own little, you know, snap to it or whatever the fuck. I'm sick of this shit, man, and they doing it.
Well, I tell you, if Jon Favreau had been in charge of the show, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
I mean, not Jon Favreau. I'm sorry, John Filoni. Filoni would.
Dave Filoni.
You think they gave Deborah Chow too much like rope for this? I know the writer. No one likes the writer.
I like her work. I like Deborah Chow. I think she's a good director. But
was the writer?
I think it was a mistake not involving Filoni in this.
And that switch up of the writing that Keith was talking about, they redid the script, so maybe that's what screwed it up. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even trust Filoni at this point, man.
Oh, he can't be. He's got to be managed by someone like Favreau.
Well, Favreau has to. It's collective. It has to be.
Yeah, because Favreau gets it. I know he gets it. His name is all over Boba Fett, but we know that's not him.
Oh yeah,
we know that was punishment for making Mandalorian good. You know, that was direct punishment. The Star Wars
into a Mandalorian show.
Kathleen Kennedy and fucking Robert Rodriguez are the ones who fucked that show up.
Yeah, Rodriguez, my goodness. You know, he only directed like 2 episodes. He ended up only directing 2.
Yeah, but he was deeply involved with it, though, in development.
Terribly.
Yeah. So, you know, they fucked up. He was, from what the rumors we've heard, including from Doomcock, is that he was directly responsible for the Vespas and those young kids. That was his.
Yeah, that was his idea.
Spy Kids.
Wow. Let's cancel Rodriguez now. Yeah.
Look, man, I still love that guy, but that dude really needs to fucking go start. Look, he's getting older, and the fact is, testosterone drops as you get older, and I think he needs some tablets.
Yeah, you know. Nothing wrong with that.
You know? Yo, talking about the blue pill.
No, not for erection.
No.
Taking supplements of testosterone. Jesus Christ, dude. No. I don't want Rodriguez walking around with a dick.
It's like, damn, if he's moving out on some shit, he might need the blue pill to help. You know what I'm saying?
I can just see the chain of command of people passing the message.
You know, he might need to muscle up down there. That's all. I don't know.
Hey, man, somebody needs to get Rodriguez some of those T pills, testosterone pills. Get him some T pills. Hey, yeah, man, I'll get another guy. Hey, Tommy, I need you to head over and get him some T pills. Okay, E pills? Yeah, T pills. E pills, okay. Goes the next person. Wow. Hey, man, I can't go do it. Can you go to the pharmacy and get him some ecstasy? Rodriguez walking around set going, and Rodriguez is like, the Wookiee fur feels so soft.
That's the lead actress, dude.
So pretty and brought the color to my channel.
So, all right, let's get to you, Sil, because let's close this conversation up before we move on to Indiana Jones.
What's the bad? The Reva character? Is that what? I mean, the writing.
No, just talking about Obi-Wan writing Reva and her amazing fucking parkour.
So, I mean, I've always said I made no mistake, with my viewers and everyone on my channel that I'm a casual Star Wars fan. Like, I'm the guy, where, I was like, oh, the prequels coming out, cool. I may check those out, right? So I'm just kind of like that mid-level Star Wars person. If it looks cool, I'm gonna watch it, right?
You're not a fan, which fanatic.
So Mandalorian really grabbed me, right? I'm like, oh, this is cool, right? Boba Fett was boring, so that's just how I judge things, right? So Obi-Wan, I remember this guy. He's a great actor. The writing is kind of wonky. The Reva character, like I said, is terrible. Like, it's not. I mean, like I said, I try to avoid the spoilers as much as possible, but it's like you kind of know there's some kind of arc with her. And I kind of don't care. Like, I already don't care after the first episode.
Well, first of all, she's a wild card, right?
Yeah,
she doesn't do anything. I'm not gonna do it. You tell me.
Do it my way. And it's almost like they were. And I don't know if the Inquisitor guy. He seemed like he was very important, but I mean, I guess I don't want to spoil everything, but I guess not anymore.
I mean, he was.
So it's like it's kind of trap. Very weird turn right there. But it's almost like they do the worst detective work because they can't catch anyone. They keep fighting each other. It's the stupidest thing. I'm like, that's writing. So my only problem with the show is writing. But I'm going to watch it because I love Ewan McGregor, and you got the Hayden Christensen tease.
Well, they weren't subtle in because the way a character like that should become rebellious, it should be rebellion unknown. In other words, there should be discussion, dialogue between these characters, and not contention right off the fucking start. When you do that, you're not. That's not good writing. Good writing is the build up to that, where she's lying about something because she's aware of something they're not aware of, and this is something that we learn as an audience. That's what would happen in the hands of a good writer. But no, they apply everything with a sledgehammer. It's like, boom, there it is.
It feels fast track. Like, I need another episode with this guy, Inquisitor, because I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah.
And he should have died a more interesting death, I think.
That was lame.
Yeah, it's like it was a Han Solo kind of killing. It was just like, okay.
Right. Oh, it happened. Okay.
Instead, it should have been a fight. That would have been interesting. Is that he should have discovered something she did,
and have a nice battle right there. Deborah Chow can do action. I like her.
And then we see her fucking skills.
Yeah.
And that's when we learn something about her. But instead, they throw everything right.
They could have some cool dialogue in the battle, right? And then you learn more about her, and then
I personally think that.
I'll let you say it, Keith, but I've always thought that she should have been answering specifically to somebody else, and they should have made that clear that she was answering directly to somebody else, and he didn't matter to her for a reason.
That's what I think. I think she's answering directly
to Vader.
Yeah.
And I think
that should have been part of the dialogue.
Yeah. I don't think she should have talked at all. I think she should have been a more silent character. I think which would have made her more menacing
too. Yeah, that would have been very interesting to have her.
And I'm not saying she could not have talked, but she chooses not to talk.
You mean
that way? Whenever she did,
of action,
she would have come across a lot more sinister that way,
like Conan,
a lot more dangerous.
Yeah, that would have worked. Actually,
and then I would have wiped out that whole thing about her having been a youngling. I would not have filmed any of that. I would have kept that as part of the dialogue that you would reveal in the third act. Okay, because again, it's bad storytelling. Because this is called Obi-Wan Kenobi, not Obi-Wan and Vader and some other chick named Neela. And some
introducing Reva.
They should have showed it, but they shouldn't have showed it right at the beginning. 124. Let's go for it.
No, I was just thinking like my predictions for the end of the show is Obi-Wan's gonna fuck Reva, and it's gonna cause The Fall of Alderaan. That's
What the hell?
What does that sound like? Halo and shit.
I think that Leah should go
like
back.
Halo.
I think Leah should go back. Back home to Alderaan, and she should report to her father and mother that Obi-Wan touched her in a bad place.
Oh my god! Show me on the story
And
for
they need to
Obi-Wan.
cancel Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan gets canceled
on his own show.
Oh no!
Here, Leah,
We
show me on the doll where Obi-Wan touched you with the Force. Show me where he touched you with the Force.
You know what? I think ultimately, what we're dealing with here is there is an opportunity to move forward, and I think 24/7. Look, 24, as cool as that would be.
I mean, well, I'm just saying, Obi-Wan's bad. Obi-Wan's, basically pulling out his own brand of, lightsaber, damage in his camp. That's all I'm saying. It's, the meat saber.
Oh,
right, guys.
The meat saber. It grows. You press the button. It grows.
Amazing. Oh, we have more stories. I didn't know. We have more stories.
Yeah, we do.
He's force sensitive.
That went on.
He's force sensitive down below.
Lucasfilm.
I'm just saying.
I know.
All Lucasfilm show.
Our next subject is Logan director James Mangold will take Indiana Jones back to the early 80s roots. And I just got to tell you, man, this is more memberberry shit. It's all this is. This is not going to be a good film. I think it's going to be worse than Crystal Skull.
Look, man.
I'm gonna slightly
look Harrison Ford, he's gonna run around, fucking shirt, fucking down, unbuttoned like you see here. He's gonna, little taco meat out, right there on the little taco meat. Yeah, I'm just saying, Harrison Ford, he's gonna be fucking in Indiana Jones 5. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Finally, he gets himself.
I like the director, James Mangold. He did Logan. And Ford v Ferrari. I like the director, so I'm giving this a chance strictly on the director. Like literally. That's all I got with this.
So you got that Phoebe chick involved with this film. My hopes are not there.
So James Mangold's coming in with a script done by what's that? Phoebe, what's her name? Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Let me look at that.
She was also the robot in Solo.
Yeah, she's L337. Yeah, she's the heart and soul of the Millennium Falcon in this bitch.
She had help with the
her. I don't think she can act worth a shit. And she's
so Mangold's part of the screenplay.
Terrible writer. Every single fucked up scene in the last James Bond film, I looked back and found out she was the one who penned them.
That's
What's
right.
her name again?
What's that?
Phoebe
Waller-Bridge.
Yeah, right here.
So Mangold is part of the screenplay as well. So I'm just saying it's a chance. It's a chance for this film. That's all I'm saying.
Actually, that chance is passed because he wrote the original script and story that Phoebe Waller-Bridge then had to come back under Kathleen Kennedy to rewrite some of what he wrote.
I'm going to pretend Keith didn't say that. Yeah, I'm going to pretend.
That is what happened. And here's the thing, and this is Mikey and Joy Lynn wrote this article, even though I'm not really going to read this because we know what's going on.
Man,
the poster doesn't get me going. I did like this one thing about the poster, which is when you click over to the right of the poster here in the chat, boom, there's that. And yes, there's kind of I don't know if that was intentional, but there's a look of the number 4 in there, and I thought that was nifty.
Man.
But look, I used to love Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones, but when he killed Han Solo, and that was all him, my love for Harrison left me. Just absolutely left me. So I'm one for one. I have learned. Look, man, you can whip me so many times. I eventually avoid you. When every time I come to talk to you, I get hit. That is what I feel like happens here. Every time I go to see something Kathleen Kennedy is involved with, I feel like it's a blow.
Swift kick in the nuts.
My love of Star Wars or my love of anything. So I don't trust her anywhere. She is absolutely a traitor. She betrayed George Lucas, and anything she's involved with, I absolutely recommend trepidation. Do not rush in thinking it's going to be great.
I'm assuming the thumbnail's going to have a big face of Kathleen Kennedy.
It's going to be a heartbreaking film that's going to destroy Indiana Jones as a character. And I just have zero faith in this being good.
Man, I can't wait
like James Mangold too. I love James Mangold.
I'm giving it a 30% chance.
Man, I can't wait till
I would give it less than that myself. I give it like 10 to 15%.
Right. I'm judging you as a 0, Gary. I'm going 30%.
No, I'm not a 0. I always hold out hope. I always hold out hope. My hope on this is 10 to 15%. Well, it's just like, look, man, it's like back in college, and I knew the rubber broke. I just kept going. Maybe I'll get lucky.
Oh yeah, hey, I can't wait till Phoebe Waller-Bridges fucking comes off. Picks up the hat, puts it on, grabs the whip. Yup, she puts the hat on and just puts it on her head. Comes on.
I give her the theme. If they give her the theme 24, it's over. Yeah.
Yo, I'm telling you. Those already talks about that shit, man. She picked up the hat, the whip, and was like, "Fuck it, I'm the new Indiana Jones in this movie."
Well,
James Bond.
Here's one last thing you got to understand about how important Indiana Jones is.
Hold on. I got to do it this time. Where's it at? There it is.
Don't get me started. Don't even get me started.
All right, go, Keith.
Okay. This is the final project that they have for her. Once Indy 5 comes out, no matter how it does, that is the final project from Kathleen Kennedy actively being a part of Disney. Once it comes out, they're going to do the whole retirement thing, and she's out. So that really is the only real reason why she's staying around is Indy 5. Of course, she's doing other projects, but we've seen that happen before in the final days of Warner Brothers, as certain people kept coming up with projects that they know they weren't going to be there to shepherd.
Wonder Twins.
So we're looking at her doing a lot of talking, but ultimately, we're going to see and say a big goodbye to her with Indy 5. And unfortunately, we're going to have to basically sacrifice Indiana Jones in order to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy.
Here's what we need right now is David Zaslav to go to work for Disney.
Oh, gosh. Pay big money for that. That's a reality show. That's a reality show.
Yeah, I was in the film them walking into Disney.
Yeah, because he would do the same thing he did over there at Warner Brothers. Man. He would move into an office at the studio.
Right at the studio.
Terrorize people. And I'm not shitting you. Again, I'm telling this story. It's 100% true. When Ezra Miller situation, the last one exploded and hit the news, he raged through those offices. Doors were locked. People hid behind their desks because he was looking for Toby Emmerich. He was looking for Toby. Where's Toby? I'm gonna kill him. And thankfully, Toby was not there.
Elsewhere. Yeah. But you know what? I could see Zaslav putting together a big dinner for everyone at Lucasfilm, having them sit around the table
as he brings wedding. A wedding.
Or even talking about baseball.
He would fire Bob Chapek, by the way. He would fire Bob Chapek. But
he would.
I do want to say once again, the opinions on this show are not necessarily those of Mikey, Sutton, or Geekosity. These are the opinions of just us, a bunch of assholes that like doing a show together and talking shit.
A man stands alone at a plate. Kathleen.
I want to get on to this one. I don't want to talk much more because we've already hit an hour. Let's move on to
you
this.
Going Egan her ass?
We have
Lucasfilm
good news.
Show.
This is real news. That's good. That
excites no more Lucasfilm. Oh man.
Henry Cavill reportedly in talks for Hobbs and Shaw 2. Now there is a movie I want to watch.
It's funny. It's like fucking Vin Diesel gets on The Rock's nerves. He's like, all right, motherfucker, guess what? We're coming with Hobbs and Shaw 2, and I'm bringing my homeboy Henry Cavill with me. Fuck you.
Well, have you guys seen my memes for that? Because I know Keith has seen it. where it's like I show Rock and what's his name here, Jason Statham, and they're looking at the camera, and I just kept doing this thing, and then I would cut back and forth between them and the Rock, and it says, "Hey, Rock, we got so and so for this film," and he's like, "Well, I got so and so." "Oh, really? Well, we got so and so," and it just went back and forth. And now look, they fucking got Henry Cavill in talks, and I guarantee you he'll be in it. If
he'll be
involved, they will get Henry Cavill because those two are best fucking friends.
Well, and what else, Gary? Even bigger than that, when you talk about Hollywood, they got the same agent. So
yeah. They're I guess you would call that Eskimo brothers of a sort.
Well, you said.
I mean, shit.
Do you even know what an Eskimo brother is, Arwen?
I've never heard that expression in my life. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what the hell you're talking about.
Eskimo brothers are guys who bedded the same woman. They become Eskimo brothers.
Some places call it DP.
Okay.
No, not at the same time.
Not at the same time. Not at the same time.
It's like Patrick.
That's a different thing.
A good friend of mine. He's a very good friend of mine. Patrick and I have that in common because we both
lot of shit going on.
Went with the same girl at different times. And so we joke and says, "Oh, we're Eskimo brothers."
Okay.
So, I don't think that's what's happening though.
Basically, Arwen, at some time or another, they shared the same pocket, and that's all I got to say. So, in essence, Henry Cavill and The Rock are kind of Eskimo brothers because they sing,
but not at the same time, right? Make sure that
not at the same time.
Yeah.
They are.
Make sure that the nuts don't rub.
So what Sil said, it is kind of DP too.
I'm just saying,
ultimately, this is a really good choice because.
Once again, the opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of Mikey, Sutton, or Geekosity.
Nuts rubbing.
Henry Cavill could possibly be in talks to take a part in the sequel to Fast and Furious spinoff Hobbs and Shaw. I think it's a better film than anything they put out. I loved fucking Hobbs and Shaw. Hobbs and Shaw was a hit in 2019. The Rock and Jason Statham reprised their roles as Luke and Hobbs and Deckard Shaw from the Vin Diesel-led franchise. They broke away because this guy called Vin Diesel fucking pussy and unprofessional pussy. So he got his own franchise.
Hobbs and Shaw is better than the last three Fast whatever films.
Fucking men. Best scene in all of the franchises was him making fun of that one dude's head, man. Fucking peanut head. That was fucking funny. And it was an ad lib that he said.
You can't have that guy. That's my guy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, another guy.
Hobbs and Shaw acquired mixed reviews upon its release. Not from fans. Fans fucking love. Again, stop fucking paying attention
forget
to
the critics.
The critics. Yeah. Pay attention to the audience score over there on Tomatoes. I would say 90% of the time, if not even higher than that, the audience is far more accurate. I would say 99% of the time. I'm going to go that far.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, most cases, yeah.
Agreed. Sometimes they love stuff that I'm like going, well, once again, that's the uneducated audience.
Well, but they have they have an audience. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So pay attention to the audience. Stop quoting the fucking critics, Edwin. Hobbs and Shaw grossed $760 million worldwide from a budget of only $200 million. Meaning that they probably had between $300 and $400 million total budget with marketing.
Right.
No, and so therefore that's about a $360 million profit.
All right, before physical media and stuff like that too. Right. So
yeah,
it made a profit.
It had more than enough to warrant a sequel. Both The Rock and Jason Statham are big enough stars on their own. Fuck yeah, they are. The Rock just shot DC Films' Black Adam, while Statham is currently working on The Expendables 4 with Stallone. I'm so looking forward to that, dude. I like toxic male films. Fuck the world. I fucking love them. It's called... Oh, he's doing Meg 2, The Trench. Oh, my God. That movie was so bad, but I enjoyed it.
Nah.
What a dumb movie. But, I love dumb movies sometimes. Sometimes I want to watch a popcorn film, and that is a popcorn film, The Meg.
Megs are two of my favorites.
Just like Hobbs and Shaw.
But it left to one of my favorite memes. Every time somebody brought up the film, somebody would post a meme of Peter Griffin saying, "Shut up, Meg."
Yeah.
Don't laugh. I don't care. I don't need you to make me feel better. Fuck you.
Oh gosh. You know what? This is good news. I mean, Henry Cavill
really
did a fantastic job with the last Mission Impossible film.
Oh, look at him here.
Oh, yeah.
Look at him here. And they're even talking about trying to bring him back somehow.
Tom Cruise better figure that out.
This is the end for Tom Cruise. He's done. He's doing part 1 and part 2. And if the next Mission Impossible is as good as the trailer looks, even though I was not impressed with the story of what was in the trailer, because the trailer should be a story, I can tell that this is going to be fucking high octane shit. And I'm so happy they brought Henry Cerny back. He was
Cruise is on fire right now.
He was the head over there at Michelin IMF.
Well, he was the guy in the first film. So he was Kitchener.
Yeah, that's my favorite one of all of them.
And he bringing back Vanessa Kirby as the daughter of
Vanessa Redgrave's character.
Yeah, she was in the last film initially, and now they're bringing her character back to this film.
That's a character from the first film too.
From the first film also.
This is what I like about this, because finally, and once again, this is one of my few kudos I give to JJ. JJ created what is now the Mission Impossible universe. It is now a universe that is connected all the way now back because of her character in the last film to the first film. And now we're bringing Kitchener back by Henry. I love Henry Cerny. He was one of my favorite villains in which one was it? Clear and Present Danger or Patriot Games? I forget which one he was in.
Patriot Games.
Was it Patriot Games?
Patriot Games, because that's the one with the scene where he has a little piece of paper. It's like, get out of jail.
Get out of jail.
One of these.
You got one of these? Fucking good scene. Cerny he's a fucking good actor. And he just sort of disappeared after that, though. After Patriot Games, we didn't see him in anything. He's a Canadian actor. He's in a lot of Canadian stuff. He's in Canadian-produced films or UK-produced films. Finally, to get him back, I'm just like, oh, that's a major coup to me. I mean, as a fan of the series and franchise, holy shit. And it is really nice to finally see Cruise letting go, because he's actually older than me, and I'm like, come on, dude, you're really showing your age. You really need to, and I don't want him to die, to be honest with you. That's a crazy motherfucker. No, I'm not shitting you. He's out of his fucking mind. Yeah, he is.
Oprah, at his age?
When he was on Oprah, that was him. He's insane.
That wasn't like,
But I mean,
God,
I give him credit.
Movies.
Oh, look, Top Gun Maverick.
That's what I'm saying. He's killing it right now.
I'm telling you, he knows films. He may be crazy, but the most consistent thing about Tom Cruise, since the very beginning, since he became a star, is that his philosophy for making movies, especially summer films, has always been, you gotta be able to basically treat your audience as their number one thing. You gotta go straight with that audience. You gotta give them something new every time. You must entertain them. And as long as one film does well, we all do well. Because he's not about this film versus
your
that
audience
film.
for spending their money.
That's
hello,
right.
Kathleen Kennedy. Hello.
And this may end up being his greatest achievement, this Top Gun, of all things. This Maverick film.
Best Star Wars film since 1980. Shit you not. And they deliberately, the director admits it, stole from Star Wars. They did it.
Yes.
It's a nod, but I call it stealing. It is stealing. It's stealing. But it's
That's
stealing
amazing
in a way that I loved it. I'm serious. And
Well-
this is me. My dog, it was 1:00 in the morning when I watched that fucking movie. And my dog kept jumping up to look at me because I would squeak. I squeaked so many times during the third act. I shit you not.
Squeak.
I was like, oh, I was just, oh my God, no way.
The outside of the guys from Cobra Kai, this is one of the best kind of movies and projects because they do
happen.
Like
they do member berries right. Member berries aren't meant to be the plot. They are a part of the plot.
And they shouldn't be obvious. That's
what Indy 5 should go
Easter
for.
eggs, meaning you have to hunt for them to find them. Now, I want to point out again that Henry Cavill, if it is true, that rumor that they are looking to try to bring him back, I think it'll be a great coup and a great way to
be $1 billion film.
It's like He's got to be scarred. He's got to be scarred.
Oh yeah,
and bring back Idris Elba. Like you can resurrect people. Just bring. Let's go. That's $1 billion, right?
Oh, for the Hobbs and Shaw.
For the Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah. But I'm talking about for Henry Cavill for Mission Impossible. But yes, for the Henry Cavill in this would be.
I think he'd be in part 2. Yeah, this 2 thing. I think they're gonna bring him back for the second one.
Yeah, he needs to be a scarred villain, man. I want to fucking see. God, that fight scene in the bathroom is one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
That's pretty dope.
I think for the final film, part 2, they should just go ahead and bring back the rest of the former IMF agents who Tom Cruise's character has been with. Maggie Q, because you've never seen her again. You a lot of these other agents, and just turn it into like an almost kind of in-game Infinity War scenario.
They come out of portals.
Yep.
And not just portals, but I mean
that Idris Elba's demise.
That he'll bring him up. Yeah.
Idris Elba's demise, because you brought that up. His demise at the end of Hobbs and Shaw very much echoes Henry Cavill's demise in Mission Impossible.
True.
So yeah, there is that chance he didn't die. You know, we'll see. Well, you
didn't see Cavill's body. I know it fell like hundreds of feet.
You see it fall. But I've seen people do some falls and survive in real life.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, it's possible.
I'm with you on that one. Dan, you got any thoughts on this 24? Because you've been quiet.
No.
I refer to 24/7 as the strong silent type.
So he'd make a better villain in Obi-Wan than what we have now.
So. Oh fuck yeah!
Yes! No lie.
And if if she does what was leaked on the bulletin boards, man, I swear to God, they completely fucked up, and they're going to piss off fans. But anyway, this is interesting to me. Joaquin Phoenix is in talks for Doctor Strange 3.
No, hell no.
Is he going to play the Joker?
No, I'm just saying. You know what you can hate is when someone is a bad guy and somewhere else, and all of a sudden the rival company wants to hire this motherfucker to be a bad guy in their shits. And fuck that.
You know, this would be the second time that you've had the guy that almost had the part playing opposite the guy who actually got the part in the MCU, because they did that with Iron Man 2. So it is.
Was he supposed to be Doctor Strange?
Joy Lynn wrote this. She's a very good writer.
Yeah.
I think Joy Lynn is one of the best writers over there. Her and Kieran are my 2 favorite writers. Edwin, I think he's getting better. He's clearly getting better as he goes along.
And Sil Abdul,
Sil, I don't know, man. He's kind of. No, I like your writing. When you write, but you haven't written anything in weeks. Come on, dude, write something.
No, I mean, I'm not in your top 2.
Where the fuck
so I don't
are
care.
you? I don't want to talk to your Muppet.
After you compliment me, I turned the camera off.
No, you actually are. And I will tell you something, Sil. You're a very good writer. I like the way you write.
Okay, I feel better.
Despite the typos.
Sam Rockwell was the actor in Iron Man 2 who almost had the role of Tony Stark. So casting him as Justin Hammer was a nice offset.
And I like him, by the way. He's one of my favorite actors. And he dances in so many movies.
Oh, gosh. I could see his version of Tony Stark. I could definitely see his version of Tony Stark.
I think they made the smart move because, one, he kind of looks like Tony Stark. Downey.
We're talking Zaslav Breeblebrock. We're talking Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
As Tony Stark.
Well, did you see him in the first Charlie's Angels? The villain that he played in Charlie's Angels, where he was doing the dancing and it was. Yeah, I could see him as Tony Stark. Now, would it have been as good as what we got from Robert Downey Jr.? Probably not. And Robert just,
Yeah, he'd have been dancing while the suit fucking comes on. Yeah, I can see
it. Wait a minute, we've already done that.
And I love this cut of this song. I actually have the original song. It's fucking badass. But I need to fast forward, get past that, and here we go.
Voice identification software download confirmed.
And he can dance. Pause for a second.
Red Star Satellite Network.
He sneaks it in almost every film he's in, a little dance move. And he's not the only actor who does that. Dude, he is so fucking cool. Sam Rockwell, I've been a fan of his since the 90s. And he did this film called was it Pink Flamingos? He's a lawnmower guy in a weird, it's a fantasy film in a weird rich suburb. He lives in a mobile home and befriends the daughter of one of the characters. And it has this fantastical ending because they're hunting him because they think that he's done something inappropriate with this girl when he hasn't. And she helps him flee and ends up shooting somebody, I think, to protect him. It was his breakout role, first movie. And then he did that movie with, oh my God, Turturro. Not Nick Turturro, the other Turturro brother, the tall, goofy one that was in Transformers. They did a movie together, and fuck, man, that was back in the 90s. Just an amazing fucking actor. Sam Rockwell is the shit. But I don't know. I think that
he's younger than I am. He's 2 years younger than me. Damn.
So, what are we thinking? Are we not okay with them going for Joaquin Phoenix? Because I think it's an interesting subject, but I don't really want to see him as a villain again. It's like I'd like to see him play just a regular character. He's a good actor. I think that it is typecasting to fucking hire him again as a villain.
I think if at the rate they're burning through villains in the MCU, and many of them are now quote unquote demised rather than able to come back. It depends on what villain they're going to have him play, because they're not going to have him come back, since he does not do sequels, which was the number one reason why he didn't get the role or stay with the role of Doctor Strange. He didn't want to sign for multiple films. So
I agree with that. Depends on the villain, because not all villains are the same, or at least they didn't used to be. Now who knows, but they didn't used to be. So
I mean, they could have him as the physical personification of Dormammu.
That would be dope, actually. Yeah.
It's a one-time villain. You could do that. One time, one film.
Should be a big part because of Clea, and yeah.
You just have him do his thing, kill him, he's gone.
Yeah.
So,
or at least get rid of the body.
Before we go, let's go through the panel, and we will all see. We're going to start down there at Sil. What are you most looking forward to right now, of everything that we've talked about on the show, not just today?
I guess like a side. Well, we kind of touched on this with the Tom Cruise thing, but I just saw the numbers of a Top Gun after the holiday weekend. It should be at 150 million domestically. That's Doctor Strange pace. So this may crack 900 million worldwide. That's amazing. So I'm like I say, hey, Tom Cruise is hot stuff right now. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it seems like it's so weird that he's been a fucking star since the 80s. I think that's the longest somebody has had that kind of star power that I've ever seen.
He's doing it, man. I mean, because you got people that longevity is a thing, but like right now, Tom Cruise is more bankable than even like a Will Smith right now. Like
that is amazing. 4 fucking decades.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What At 59 years old, he will be 60 when Mission Impossible comes out next year.
Killing it, man. Killing. So it's a good story overall. Nostalgia done right. So hey, I'm all for it, man.
Hey, he tried to teach Will Smith all about franchises and how to make it work and all of
Scientology.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, the dude is locked into how this really should be done. His whole thing about Hollywood and being famous and making movies is all about the fans, making sure that we're all entertained, making sure that I give 110% in my movie so that you'll have a good time in the movie theater and want to come back and see someone else's movie. That's his mentality. And it's not a mentality that a lot of people share.
So 24, what film or anything, show, are you most looking forward to from all the subjects that we've been talking about?
Nothing.
Hell
no.
Look, man,
I want to watch. Doctor Strange shit the bed, so I don't give a damn if this motherfucker comes back to be a villain in his third movie. I don't. It's like fuck. I don't know, man. That was a big disappointment. So number 3 is going to be what? I don't care for that, man.
Even though I liked 80% of that film, I totally do understand.
I mean, I don't know. And then Cumberbatch, he's something else. He wants everybody to be all fucking feminine.
Yeah. Once again, I'm all about separating these asshole actors from the parts.
To be honest, man, I'm getting to the point where sometimes when people are just douches, I can't see past that. No matter how much makeup and how the fuck this person tries to act like some motherfucker in a movie, I'd be like, yo, you still a piece of shit. Like, I don't give a fuck how you dress them up. Just, I don't know, man.
You can slap some icing on it, but a turd's a turd.
Shit.
Doesn't make it a brownie. It's still a
fudge. It's not real fudge.
Damn. But but to be honest, I'm not black pilled. I'm be real, and I'll just say this. Look, I'm not black pilled. I just know better when I'm grown to the point where it's like when I look at something and I see something is insulting my intelligence, I'm real quick to just tell it to go fuck itself, man. So I'm
right there with you, brother.
But I tell you this though, before move on. As far as anything out there, the only thing I could see myself actually watching that's even coming out right now, Top Gun would be one.
I was about to say Top Gun.
Stargirl season 3.
Oh fuck that!
And maybe give a glance over to the Titans with whatever the fuck they got going on, just to go look, not to they shit the bed a few times with a few things. Even Beast Boy is not even fucking green, so why the fuck would I give a fuck, right? It's like, come on, man. It's like, damn, man, spray him up with some green paint. You fucking did it with Lou Ferrigno. Hell, you ain't got to do his whole body. You can just do his hands, his face, his neck, and just let him put on his clothes and see. Fuck this, man. You see what I'm saying?
But use asbestos-based makeup too. Fuck it. No.
You got Gamora green. You should be able to make that guy green.
Yeah, but to be honest, there's some things that are coming out that's questionable. Quantum Leap, Sliders. I hope Sliders comes with it, man.
If they're bringing the cast back, I will.
Right, and I heard they are.
And the producer showrunner said it will not be woke.
Right, so I'm looking forward to that. But I mean, other than that,
hold them to it.
A lot of shit that's coming out would be for the end of the year. Black Adam or next year or whatever the fuck. The Flash. As far as the rest of this year, I don't see too much of anything, man, so far.
And right now, Top Gun's hot. That's one thing everyone can.
Top Gun,
get some kind of enjoyment out of.
And then everything else already came out, man. That was worth seeing. I can't see no summer blockbuster shits other than Top Gun right now. What the fuck's gonna beat that?
And that's surprising. Well, Jurassic World comes out in about 12 days, so it's gonna have some hype with that.
Yeah, and I mean they say that one's gonna be. That's questionable to the motherfucker, man.
I haven't liked
so already. So they say it's supposed to be having a Tyrannosaurus Rex that is supposed to have an attitude like the Joker. Like, how the fuck do you put that together? Look, hey, I mean, come on, Gary's right there. He can hit a couple and look at shit and be like, yeah. So what's there when we're gonna have a Joker style Tyrannosaurus Rex? What the fuck are we looking at? And then the thing is, you bringing back Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum and this other broad, you bringing back the original cast. But what the fuck are they walking into? Is it going to be like?
Oh, it's
like, are they walking? Are we going to see them walking to their deaths? Like it's going to be like the end game. Yeah, like it's going to be the end game for Jurassic Park as a whole franchise. Even the original motherfuckers they killed off.
All right, man. I hate cutting you short. We gotta get to Arwen.
Oh God, Arwen,
What are you looking forward to, man?
There's an A for the
love
mouth.
24, man.
All right, I'm looking forward to these things under two conditions. Okay.
What's that?
I would really be excited for the third Doctor Strange if we get like full frontal Raimi. I want to see Doctor Strange.
Well, you want Raimi.
Sam
you want Raimi actually directing it, not being manipulated by Disney. Feige.
Yes, that's why I say full frontal Raimi. I want the whole Raimi because the Raimi experiences in this last Doctor Strange.
They were the best scenes.
Shit, when Wanda came climbing out of that mirror.
Oh, that was.
I
dope.
was like,
best fucking scenes were the ones that were obviously his fucking stuff.
Yeah, the first act, basically.
Yeah. So that's what I would be looking for. And y'all, just to see touched on Jurassic World real quick. I'm not complicated with my dinosaur movies. I just want to see dinosaurs run around and eat people. I don't give a shit about the story, so I'm excited. I'm a simple woman when it comes to. I just want to see big ass dinosaurs and then run around and terrorize people, and I'm there. I'm there. So
ladies and gentlemen, it's people like Arwen that keeps us getting shitty movies.
I'm sorry, I'm scared, y'all. Dinos, big and bad.
Thank you, Arwen. Thank you so much. Anyway, Keith, what are you looking forward to, buddy?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to be a little different here. I'm looking forward to the Orville, the Return of the Orville, season 3. Between that and The Boys, I'm kind of excited. Finishing off Young Justice.
I wasn't impressed with season 2. I'm hoping season 3 is better.
I'm hoping season 3 is better. I have been steadily watching and enjoying all the new episodes of Young Justice. To me, which is still probably the best current animated show, and I'm looking forward to the new season of Harley Quinn the animated series and its spinoff Kite Man. Oh please, Kite Man! Oh, I would love.
I am not looking forward to.
Oh yeah.
I am not looking forward to that myself because I told you my problem with the series is it went woke, and I lost interest in it. It became too identity politics for me, and I just it's like it's okay when it's a little bit here and there, smattering, but when they put it all over the fucking place, Young Justice lost me as a member of the audience.
Young Justice, okay.
Yeah, Young Justice just went too ID politics, and I just went, fuck it, I'm done. But I will tell you, I am looking forward to Orville 3. I am looking forward to the second half of Stranger Things 4. I'm already looking forward to, because I already saw it, Top Gun Maverick. It was fucking great. And in my opinion, it'll probably end up being the best fucking film this year.
It may, man.
It's a big screen experience. You should see that on the big screen.
That is absolutely one of the best films I've seen. Really well written. People are making fun of, they don't have the volleyball scene. I don't fucking care. They had a football scene.
Weird.
That's right.
In volleyball, you couldn't get the metaphor that he was going for. There was a metaphor to the game they were playing. And you don't get it with volleyball. You can only get it with football. And because the guy walks up, John Hamm walks up behind him, he goes, well, you got them both. They're both playing offense against each other. They both teams have a football. He says, you wanted a
asking
team.
What the score was.
Yep. It's like, you wanted a team. And then he put his hands up. And they were like lifting each other up, just having a great fucking time. And he did it. He found a way to do it. I fucking love that movie, dude. I fucking love that movie.
The big tear moment.
I can hardly wait to buy it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I liked it better than the original.
I tell you what, you'll like Sharknado 8. You'll like that better than the original too. So
no, I will not. Not a fan of any. I've never watched any of the Sharknado.
You need some Sharknado in your life.
Before we leave, I want to read this, and I thought this was an interesting post by J. Michael Straczynski. Keith's not the only one that follows him. I follow him all the time. Please retweet in places and to people where appropriate. If you're a blue checky writer, that means an established writer of significance who was inspired by the works of Harlan Ellison, or a similarly positioned literary critic who esteems Harlan's place in literature, flag me down. I will explain all in DM.
Oh, geez.
Yes.
I saw that, and it's just like, I wish I was a blue check so I could at least fake it long enough to know what he's going to say.
I know what's going on here. It's easy to put it together. He's looking for really good fucking writers of science fiction. He's going to pull a Rod Serling, Gene Roddenberry, and do what nobody's doing today. Hire real fucking sci-fi writers.
God, don't get me excited. Don't do this.
Yeah, no.
Don't do that. Don't get my hopes up, man. Don't get my hopes up. If
Don't
anybody
what?
can pull it off, it's J. Michael Straczynski. If anybody can pull this off, it's
What do
this
you
guy.
want? You're telling me not to what? Don't what?
Get my hopes up.
Don't get me started.
What?
Keith, I'm with you on this one. I don't want my heart broken.
I don't either, but I think Straczynski is aware. I think Straczynski is probably typically woke like a lot of people in Hollywood, but I think he understands that you got to temper that with good storytelling.
Yeah. I don't care if he's woke.
So I'm looking, I don't either. And I say this all the time.
Right.
You've heard me say it. I will watch woke if you tell me a good story. Give me some good characters with good character arc. Give me a good character arc.
J. Michael Straczynski definitely should be the one running Star Trek right now. He would have been if Paramount had moved forward on his pitch on a Star Trek series.
Yes.
Yep. We'll see what's happening. I'm very curious what's going on here. But either way it goes, I want to thank Keith, Arwen, Sil Abdul, and my good friend here, 24/7 Fusion Media, who just fucking has the best rants on this show.
He slays.
You have been usurped as
yes.
On this show. I'm serious. Sil Abdul, you're a beautiful friend, man. I fucking love you. Arwen, you're okay.
Thank you, Gary.
You are one. You're gorgeous. I know people that come to watch the show often come to watch because you were on the show. People wonder why I picked you on the show, and I said the reason why is because I love your retorts, and I love that you are really into this stuff. But you did break my heart today with the, that you will watch any movie as long as it's got dinosaurs running around.
I'm simple woman. Just give me a potato.
You can get that B movie up.
Give me a penis, any size, don't care.
Yeah. Oh God! Cut that.
Get that B movie prehistoric park.
And then
all the dinosaurs running around in that motherfucker.
Keith, I want to thank you all for watching today. And of course, we know that some of us, or just me, is in the chat with you right now. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope we made you giggle, and I hope that we made you think. With that, we bid you a fond adieu. And as Andre always says, and with that.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell icon for updates on our shows and channel. Also, please leave a comment, and we'd like to know what you thought of the episode, as well as letting us know if there's something you'd like us to cover in a future episode. Don't forget that you can become a member of Pop Culture Minefield now. Make sure to visit our membership page and merch store at popcultureminefield.com. You can always find Pop Culture Minefield on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch.
Thank you.